Hey guys, Key here for TheButtonSmashers.com, and this is our review for eFootball PES 2020 Master League.
Madrid are still behind as we reach out for half-time. Benzema. Vinicius Junior! Oh, taken with style!
Well, this is a terrific show of resilience and spirit. I love to see a team roll up their sleeves and force their way back. Superb.
Absolutely thundered in. Keeper, no chance.
Full disclosure before we get into the review, I'm a huge fan of Pro Evolution Soccer and I've met with the team at Konami responsible for the game a few times. This is not to say that I won't do my due diligence to ensure I give the game an ethical review, but I believe you should be aware that I may have a few biases. As always, I recommend getting a second and third opinion whenever watching any of my reviews. The copy of the game used for this review was also supplied by the publisher. Now keep in mind, this particular review is mainly about the single player mode Master League and the changes that have been made to it. If you're looking for a full opinion on the full game and all other modes, check the Button Smashers main channel 2 days after this review goes live for a full review of eFootball PES 2020. A link will be provided in the description below and the pinned comment for your convenience when it's live. So without further ado, let's talk about PES Master League. Master League is the single-player football manager mode for the Pro Evolution Soccer franchise. This mode has been my favorite since my teens and it continues to keep my attention to date even with other modes being added to the game. In Master League you usually create a manager, then choose a team to manage, set a few parameters to adjust the difficulty, choose either a custom starting 11 or the official one for the team you selected, then go through season after season with them. Along the way you can swap teams, sell and buy players, and all that other footballing jazz. But most of all, you get to feel the adrenaline rush of winning titles with your team. This year, the devs have made a few changes to the mode, some for the better, others not so much. As always, I'll start with the bad first and circle back to some of the good stuff. The first and arguably the biggest problem is the massive downgrade to your manager choices. You used to be able to create your own manager using the robust character creator in the game, but this year the feature has been dropped in favor of legendary manager choices. Managers like Maradona and Zico look great, but not everyone wants to use a manager like them. This is especially true when considering that there isn't enough variety of manager ethnicities. There's only one truly black manager, a few white ones, some Hispanic, 2 Asians, and that's about it. In the previous games, you could create whatever manager you wanted. If you wanted a virtual you could do that. If you wanted to create a doppelganger of a current or past manager, you could do that. But this is a step back. The new legend managers look cool and very well detailed, but removing more options from a game mode that is all about the fantasy element of managing a team in the beautiful game won't go over well with fans. As for the new managers, they're mainly there for the new cutscenes. Mostly cosmetic stuff. In fact, most of the improvements to this game mode specifically this year are cosmetic. There are a few times when you're able to make a choice before a match, like in press conferences, or make changes to your squad, but for the most part you'll be a passive participant in these new cutscenes. Finally, as mentioned before, most of the improvements to Master League this year seem to be cosmetic. This is not to say that these and other changes aren't significant, but I do see some not viewing them as a big enough jump from last year's game. Now, all that negative stuff aside, I'm a strong believer in not changing what's not broken, and for the most part, that's exactly what has happened this year. Master League has been altered in numerous minor ways that vastly improves the quality of life experience for players. Simple things like the game not forcing you to watch status updates after every match is a huge plus. Now you can decide for yourself if you wish to check updates in your own time. This vastly speeds up the time between matches, and the addition of messages also shows more involvement from the assistant staff and the backroom of the club you manage. You'll have them suggesting players who should get more time in the field, squad rotations for less important matches, and so much more. Now, you don't have to do what they say, but it's nice to feel like you actually have a supporting staff as real football managers do. eFootball PES 2020 also ups the quality of life with a much more organized top menu with a lot more information readily available to the player. Being able to easily view your next few matches along with league standings without having to hop into another menu is a huge plus. These information tiles are large and thus more legible, even going so far as to feature a virtual social media following count and the names of your sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, you can customize these using the improved option files. I recommend getting them from PES World since they're free and very well detailed on there. Outside of visual improvements to the menus, there's also an improved transfer market with the addition of sliders to change the aggressiveness of teams in the market and the amount of money you receive from your club. What this means is that you can prevent players from moving around too frequently, and you can also have more of a challenge when signing new players. Percentages have also been removed from the transfer screen, so there's more of a reliance on the words of your assistants, which makes the whole thing more unpredictable and, for me, fun. eFootball PES 2020 also has way more leagues to choose from, including all the leagues from last year's game, along with a fully licensed Serie A, Italian 2nd Division, Spanish 2nd Division, and the fully licensed Brazilian 2nd Division, Campeonato Brasileiro Serie B. Having more leagues means more gems to find, opportunities to develop teams, and interesting stories to tell. Additionally, the game also has an improved injury system, which sees more players getting injured and thus a greater emphasis on squad rotation. As for the on-the-pitch action, I'll save most of my opinions for the full review, but I will note that the emotional investment factor has been turned up a lot, thanks to improved audio during away games and the way the manager reacts on the touchline. What this means is that home fans will not celebrate an opposition goal on home soil, leaving the stadium almost silent when they concede, only to then come roaring to life when their team scores. You'll also hear whistles and jeering when the opposition players are on the ball and approaching goal.
And Diaz! Another chance! It's in! All too easy! They are in danger of disappearing out of sight! That's no fluke, it's what he was there for. Oh look, there's only one player who merits all the praise.
Added to the attention to detail of new players, the new camera, improved gameplay, and you have what is almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Seeing your manager on the touchline react to the on-the-field action also adds a lot. I only wish there were more managers from current teams along with created managers to choose from. In this mode, there's nothing like scoring a goal in the last minute to win a game and seeing your manager run on the pitch all excited like my boy Jurgen Klopp. That is the emotion that eFootball PES 2020 brings.
Plays it over to the other flank. Done very well to intervene.
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling. Has a pop! Yes, he's done it! And that's got to be it! That has got to be it!
So with all I've had to say so far about this game, here's my final verdict. Master League this year has seen some setbacks in the manager creation department, which I'm sure PC models will fix since the creation suite is still in the game for Become a Legend. However, outside of the new manager implementation, the rest of the mode has seen a reasonable amount of improvement to warrant interest, especially for players coming from other football titles. Having more leagues, players, scenarios, and improved gameplay really makes a big difference in this mode. Add to that the amount of emotional investment one can gather from winning a game in the 90th minute to the feeling of signing and developing young stars. eFootball PES 2020 Master League is where it's at. Thank you very much for watching our review of eFootball PES 2020 Master League. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave us a like and a comment in the comment section below. And as always, if you'd like to see more content like this from us, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you'll always know when we put up new content.